All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Rugozeno Chuse. I am one of the regional manager with GSDC. I thank each and everyone for joining us today for our instructional designer bootcamp. And just to let you know, we are also live on LinkedIn. So if you can share the link on the chat box with your friends, colleagues, or family in case they would wish to join us. And I will also ask you to subscribe and like our LinkedIn page and website as well. All right. For today's session, I will give you a brief introduction and then we will have our speaker. He will have his time and then we will have a quick Q&A round, and with that followed by a small gamification round. And that would be the end of this session. All right, so without spending much of the time now, let me quickly give a brief introduction about GSDC. So Global Skill Development Council, also known as GSDC, is an international recognized vendor agnostic organization dedicated to credentialing and certification. And we take pride in our independent status, ensuring impartiality and credibility in our certification program. And our certificate has gained recognition from leading multinational corporation and numerous prestigious university worldwide, with a diverse portfolio including DevOps, Six Sigma, blockchain, ISO, L&D, HR, and much more. And we are proudly accredited by the American National Standard Institute and the Accreditation Board for international credentialing bodies. Having certified over more than 1 lakh professionals across the globe, we are trusted by individuals and organizations to enhance their skills and validate their expertise. And our partnership with over 100 global training organizations serving regions like Europe, APEC, North America, and these have led to the establishment of GSDC authorized training organization, which we call it as ATOs, ensuring consistent and standardized delivery of our program. And our network consists of more than 500 advisors and subject matter experts, and hailing from over 30 countries worldwide. The highly acknowledgeable SMEs are responsible for the crafting of curriculum, exams, and trainings materials, ensuring they remain relevant and aligned with our ever-evolving market demands. And we have also partnered with global multinational companies, and these are some of them. So that's Kindle, Visa, T-Mobile, IBM, and much more. And this is our flagship programs, in which one of the topmost program is our Certified Instructional Bootcamp. Okay, and coming to the roadmap of the instructional designer certification. So the Certified Instructional Designer certification offered by GSDC is a professional certification program that aims to validate the skills and knowledge of an individual working in the field of instructional design. So with that, we help you with self-paced e-learning videos, mocks exam, and we provide 2 free attempts, and our internationally recognized certificate for lifetime and validation. Also, with that, with the clarification of your exam, you would be getting your CISD certificate and CISD badge. And coming to one of the prominent membership that we provide to our candidate is that we, GSDC, conducts a lot of global summits and webinars and workshop, boot camps. So you would be getting free invitation to join any of those. And with that, as per your experience and knowledge, you will also be invited to become a keynote speaker to any of those summits, webinars, and boot camps. And you would be given access to our GSDC learning portal as well. We do provide newsletters, blogs, and downloadable implementation resources, which you can edit it and use it in your everyday life. And coming to the exclusive membership that we provide is, so in case you are a registered instructional designer from certified instructional designer from GSDC, then later in the future, if there is any upgradation or if there is any new version of instructional designer in the market, then you can upgrade your certificate for free, which means you just need to sit for the exam. And coming to the man of the day, we have Ray Yamanas here. He is the Chief Learning Architect and founder of WitnessLearning.com and TrainingMacNetwork.com. He is also the inventor of SituationExpert.com and AI ChatGPT Worldwide Learning Platform. As we all know, ChatGPT is training in the market at the moment. And he is also a renowned recipient of Innovation Technology Award provided by Training Magazine. Thank you, Ray, for joining us today. We all are hoping to have a very interactive session with you today. Thank you. You can take your time.
Sure. Thank you, everybody else. Thanks for inviting me in our session today. Could you say hello in the chat and tell me which country you are calling from? Type hello and then which country you are calling from. Can you type it in the chat? Thank you. Hey, India. Okay, good. Type it in. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Great. Terrific. I just wanted to get an idea where you're coming from. Many of you are, it's probably midnight over there. So welcome to our show today. We are going to be very interactive today. That's why I wanted you to start using your chat, because I'd like you have an interaction today. So be free to type in the questions, and then we will try to have a Q&A later on. But what I'd like to do is to share my screen so we can have a conversation. So the question I'm going to ask yourself in here is that the future of instructional design, learning and using AI and ChatGPT. Now, I'd like you to interact in our session today, but tell me in the chat, how much do you know of ChatGPT? Type 1, 2, or 3. How much do you know of ChatGPT? Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, very good. Most of you are in 2. Keep on typing. Good. It gives me a feeling of understanding of what we're looking for. Okay. Thank you very much for that interaction. So here is a question to you. What are the impacts of ChatGPT in instructional design and learning? Can you type the answer in the chat? What are the impacts of ChatGPT in instructional design and learning? Whatever you know, whatever you guess, just type it in. Make it very short, typing in. Thank you. Very good. Assessment, speed. Thank you. Great. Idea and learning process, automation, analyze learning path. Very good. Keep it coming. Thank you for being participative scenarios there. Efficiency and research base. ADDIE, replicate ADDIE, quick overview, terrific. Great, great ideas that you're having here today. So I want to jump in to start an interaction. By the way, just keep on typing even if I'm moving to another slide, okay? Just keep on typing because everybody can watch your typing as a result of that, okay? Work faster, terrific. Summarization, that's good. Now, one gentleman that I follow a lot is John Hagel. And he was saying with the idea that we need to scale beyond skills into tasks of thinking. We need to get our people into in order to think in the future of learning. So what he's saying is this principle. What he's saying is that what happened to most of our training program, we are doing instruction learning, right? We teach people, we tell what to do, you memorize the session, and they give them a test. What he was suggesting in his book and his work is that we need to be able to get people to maximize their capabilities and their passion. So we need to let them do their own work situation. And we are fortunate that we're now in the stage where we have AI and ChatGPT to help us because we're now closer in the application of results, right? So the idea, therefore, is that the future of learning will be more concentrated here, per se, because this is where it matters, the work situation. We will still have instruction type of learning, but more and more technology is going to help us accomplish this. And this is really where the future is happening, is starting today as a result of that process. Now, I am going to show you 2 or 3 videos because it's faster to show you a video rather than show you a screen, okay? And then I'll ask you a question as part of this process. You also have a document, a handout that I sent to you, or you can download, and it will show you experiments that we have been doing in the area of ChatGPT and AI, and I will illustrate that today in our conversation. So all of this really tells us the future in terms of how we can accelerate and change and modernize or upgrade the way we think of the idea of instructional design. So we're going to have 5 examples in here: knowledge proficiency, kickstart problem solving, coaching conversations, and rapid course development. So we are going to work on that and have a conversation in this area as much as often as we can. Most of these examples right now, just to let you know, many of you are familiar with ChatGPT as an individual consumer, right? You go in, you have free account, you're doing that. But most of the time, the best way to also experience ChatGPT is how you integrate it with your platform, right? So my examples in here right now is using a platform which I own. I'm using it for illustration purposes. I'm not trying to sell you the platform. I'm just trying to do that you can integrate ChatGPT into your learning platform so that you can see optimally the results in this area. So let me start with 1. So I'm going to play a video and then I'm going to ask this question to you. So here's a situation. A manager tells the person, the employee, we cannot train you yet. We have to wait for the whole class to be hired. Now, I don't know how many of you have experienced that, right? So what happened here is this, and this is my question to you. What are the costs to the organizations with slow employee onboarding or induction? Can you type that in the chat? Answer the question in the chat, and let's exchange ideas. What are the costs to the organization for slow onboarding or induction? Type it in the chat. Thank you. Low revenue realization. Thank you, Mary. Inefficiency, low new, very good. Okay, good. Loss of productivity. Beautiful. I love your answers. Just keep on coming. Employee retention is low. Yep. Okay. Impacts productivity. Attrition. Yes. Okay. You lose people by doing that. Okay. Slow return, slow employee brand, low engagement. So there are many, many costs that area that is really not going to help the organization as a result of this process. So let me show you an experiment I have done. The idea being is that if we can level off, if we can help a person who's completely new and familiarize himself or herself to ideas and knowledge in the organization, then it will become a faster experience. So I will play a 2, 3, or 4 minute video, and then after that, I'm going to ask you more questions so that we can have a conversation. Okay? Is that okay with you? I'll show you a video, and then we're going to have more conversation in the chat. Can you type a yes or okay? Okay, perfect. Good, very good. So I'm going to change my screen here, and then I'm going to play a video, and we'll play this one right now, okay? Here. Now, this is a small okay. Hi, Ray Jimenez here. Now, this is a small experiment that I've done with my workshops and some of my clients, and I call it 0 to 99% familiarization. The objective is to help the learners who's completely ignorant, maybe a little background of a topic, and see how fast they can accelerate their knowledge of familiarization so that they're able to accomplish their goals. So we did do test before the opinion of the learner on the topic, and we said familiarization of the topic is very low, asking questions, the ability to ask questions is very low, are they confident to join conversation is very low. And after that, we also asked them the question in terms of after it, and of course, there's a significant raise in here. They're able to familiarize themselves with the topic. They can ask questions, maybe not as intelligently and effective, but they can ask questions and they can join conversations in brainstorming and in that process. So let's move ahead and show you this example of 0 to 99% familiarity. The topic is 757 doors and lock, and the objective primarily is to ask the learner to study and learn about the problem, identify answers and solutions. So here is what they need to do. They're supposed to go back to the answers and solutions, come up with answers and questions, answers and some references that they can see. The situation, therefore, starts with a 757 door is unlocked. It is malfunctioning. What is the MCDP? Is it unreliable? And it is consistent. Now, I have no idea what this topic is, and any one of you may not because we're not engineers, but I probably was invited to attend a meeting, so I want to be familiarized with some of the topics, or they are a client, or I am new to this job. So if you're a writer or a subject matter expert, this is something worthwhile to observe. Now, let's put ourselves as a learner and see how it goes. So now I begin to go answers and solutions, and how did we use ChatGPT as in integration in here. So what we have done in here, you can see, I can click ChatGPT, and then now quickly you can see in here a real issue where you can now have an automatic question, which is how do I simplify the problem? So if I could click that, remember we have a stated problem earlier here in the situation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a quick question in this area, and I will just run this, okay? It's now sending to ChatGPT, getting the information. So quickly, ChatGPT answers the information in here as a result of this process, and this is what the answers are right now. So very quickly, I get an answer from ChatGPT, and let me zoom this in a little bit. So you could see here that I am a novice, I don't know anything, but I'm curious and simply say, so what is the component and what is really the malfunctioning in here? So I begin to highlight it and move it into the highlight column on my right. So simplify for the problem, I have to identify this. So really MCDP means malfunctioning component diagnostic procedures. I've learned something new. Now you can see that there is some more questions in here. So I developed some very basic questions like what it is, how do I describe it, but let's go in and simply say malfunction and diagnose. I'm curious how to diagnose this. So I'll probably come up in here is that what is the malfunction? I'm just going to type in here. What is the function? So now I'm just going to put it up in here. It asks the questions, and let's wait for it to answer in a second.
You're testing.
So now it quickly answers it. It's simply saying something like MCDP is responsible for logging and reporting malfunctions in the aircraft, right? And it's a control mechanism. So it is a control and malfunctioning in terms of control mechanism and monitoring. So let me ask another question in here. I could type directly in here, or I can use it. So what is the dashboard? Okay, I'm just going to simply say in here, what is the reporting display? I'm guessing with my question here, of course, but I wanted to just see what it will bring up to. So now it's working on an answer. As you can see, it's sending to ChatGPT. Now it shows in here malfunction for inconsistency. I need to watch the inconsistency of the door operation, which is a problem, or to reset the door in the event of a malfunction. So let's stop over here. And my question to you when we go to the chat right now is we showed you how you can have an employee who doesn't know practically anything about a subject be able to accelerate their thinking process as a result of that. So here is the question, right, in terms of regard in this area. A faster familiarity, asking questions, joining a conversation. How does ChatGPT help learners level up knowledge and competencies faster and at lesser cost? Can you type your answer in the chat, please? how does ChatGPT help level up faster? And of course, in the competencies and lesser cost, right? Immediate correct answers, okay, personal idea. Thank you for that. Give access to knowledge at the right speeds, okay? A chain of thought. I love that, Arnab. You're using a chain of thought, right? Customized learning. Nitish, wonderful. Preparing a learning journey, historical information, right? Provide step by process on what to do next. A further research, yes. Mina, kick off thoughts to others would start with practical, useful, immediate, link topic, right? By enabling and giving them the solutions. Wonderful answers, everyone. Incredible. I love it. Keep on going, keep on typing. Provides access to information without going through the rigors of formal learning. Comprehensive information helps to introvert learners since there's no one to ask around. Conversational. Wonderful answers, and thank you for sharing your thoughts in this area. Now, there's a lot of presumptions that you have to put into your mind. The ChatGPT is not necessarily perfect, is not necessarily all having correct answers. Well, you have to train a policy. You have to train your learners to be able to detect and ask more questions to validate it, that if ChatGPT has an answer is reliable. But even with that particular potential for inaccurate information, do you think that even with some inaccuracies, the ChatGPT is still very helpful as a tool to increase the speed of onboarding? What do you think? Do you agree with me? Yes, even if it's not perfect, right? Type in a yes, right? It is helpful, even if it's perfect. You just need to have a policy. So when you're looking at the future of instructional design, we are in the past, and even today, we are the center as trainers and instructional design in providing instruction, right? The biggest benefit of ChatGPT is that we're allowing the learners to self-learn. We're allowing them to go beyond outside of learning based on what we provide them to do. We allow them to directly discover, and therefore it shortens their learning process, right? One thing you must understand is you need to be able to have guardrails. You need to have some policies so that when they use the area of ChatGPT, it is within the confine of the objective. Now, you notice it here that we have an objective. And in this example earlier, our objective, when you're looking at this, our objective was pretty much, when you're looking at it, we want them to learn about the airplane door. So ChatGPT must be driven by a clear statement of learning objectives, because otherwise they will not be guided into a area, right? So that's a key component that we want to reflect on. So here, question to you, and answer it in the chat, right? How does ChatGPT impact the roles of trainers, designers, writers, facilitators, technologists, and visual artists? How does this example impact your job? Type it in the chat, please. How does it impact your job? Get rich content, good resource there, good communication. It helps remove dependencies on the SMEs. Very interesting area here, right? And I'll show you an example of that. Helps you with content, provide better outlines, help become more creative. Thank you. Design better training plans, increase efficiency, and quick information. Wonderful thought. Now, just keep on typing, because I'm going to move into our next example, right? Our next example, therefore, highlights the idea of problem solving. A lot of the usage of ChatGPT is not only in memorizing things, but also problem solving. So here's the lady. She's at work, and she asked the question, how do I solve this problem? So now you jump into an example of how you're going to do that. So let me show you in terms of the area, in terms of what were the costs to the organization when learning does not lead to problem solving or solving problems. Can you answer this in the chat? What is the cost to the organization when learning does not lead to solving problems? Type it in the chat. Okay, very good. Wasted funds. Very nice. Very interested. Waste. Low productivity, right? Okay. Scrap learning. Thank you for that. Wasted time. No ROI, right? So we already know this because a lot of our instructional design, a lot of our courses go to waste because they don't help the learners do the job of solving problems at work. So we need to doing that. So in this next case, I want to share to you an example, an experiment what I done in problem solving. Okay. So just keep on typing. Just keep on typing. The question was that the impact of the organization when there is no problem solving from learning. So I'm going to have another video in here, which is problem solving. Just a quick response on your area. Okay. ChatGPT in problem solving. So for example, we start here with a compliance issue, which is like, look, I fell down, and I'll play this video very, very short, about maybe 1 minute, part of it. So this is about workers' compensation.
Wanted a little extra cash on hand. Well, a word of advice, don't do what this New Jersey man appears to be doing, faking a slip and fall. Alexander Goldinsky was caught on surveillance.
So, okay, so faking a fall in workers' compensation, it's a problem. So now you present the learners the opportunity to check, okay, what if? What are the different options? Kind of a thinking process where they have different option one, option two. How do you help through ChatGPT the learners to be able to have some prior information, some thinking about that? So when you go to what if, the next thing you want to do is to be able to invite them to participate in a conversation. So we provide them ChatGPT to ask the question, what if? And if you go click in here, you begin to see that there's an automatic question posted in here. What are the what if questions I should ask? Let's just try that. And there are other questions in here that I could ask as well. But let's go try this area and see what we come up with. ChatGPT is working right now. A few seconds. Now, ChatGPT gave us an answer in here. What evidence does the person have to prove that he was injured? How long does the person claim to work out? Has the person filed any similar claim? So these are very interesting what-if questions, right? So now if I'm the learner, I would simply say, well, is there a witness to this one? And by the way, is there any financial incentive why they're doing that? Or is there any claim at all in a work situation? So I'm highlighting in here what are the what-if conditions that I should try and check. So now there's an interesting component because we're learning different options. So ChatGPT is helping us to become kickstarters. It starts to gel in the mind of the learner some ideas that they may already know or they may yet to know. But what is interesting is they're seeing that as a first-time reminder knowledge. So let's move into the next step. So now what if? That's the area that we just clicked. Now let's try the next step, which is what's been tried, what's been tested. So it's kind of trial and error in dealing with different problems altogether. And they're supposed to fill up the form idea, methods, and results that they have tried. But let's go leverage ChatGPT in this problem-solving environment. So if I click ChatGPT, again, automatically you can see what should be the test thoroughly and what should I look forward to the results. There are no other questions in here because I didn't prepare other questions through the system. But now let's go send this out to ChatGPT. Okay, following up this area in here, I'd like you to reflect with me and answer these questions, right? So when you're looking at this area, therefore, what would likely be the area in here, the broader resources? How does ChatGPT help learners and workers to accelerate problem solving? Can you answer it in the chat, please? How does ChatGPT help learners and workers to accelerate problem solving? Thank you. Provide it in the chat, please. Thank you. When you run out of creative juices. Okay, John, good. Expanding thinking, beautiful. Improve analytical skills, divergent thinking. They are providing a framework to structured thinking, very good. Thanks. Give option to take the right decision. Love it. I love it, Natesh. Thank you. Henry, very good. Okay. ignite possible solutions. I love it, right? Be coming up with creative ideas, etc., and the like. Very, very good. So, really, what's going on in here is this, and this is the biggest tip in the design process. Most of our design in instructional design is basically telling the learners what they need to do. And we don't extend that to the problem solving because we don't have the tool and the capability. But today and in the near future, ChatGPT, provided you have the right objectives, can actually help the learners while they're on the job. Because if they forgot the idea and if they need more inspiration around the objective that you've set for them, you can encourage them to look for answers themselves in ChatGPT in order to inspire them, right? So I love your answers in here. Quick over possible solution, promotes parallel thinking, continuous thinking. Very nice, defining the problem statement. The whole concept in here is that in the past, when we ask learners to apply the idea, somehow they are limited because they're coming at it myself. And my joke is something like this. Every time we ask learners, can you see my blank piece of paper in front of my face? Can you confirm a yes? Blank piece of paper. You see that in my face? Right. The problem in most training program is we ask the learner to say, what do you think? If you have a blank paper in front of them, it is very hard for you and me and the learners to start thinking, right? So the purpose of ChatGPT is a Kickstarter. The purpose of ChatGPT is a learning assistant. The purpose of ChatGPT is a co-pilot or a co-learner. That's the way we should look at ChatGPT. We don't look at ChatGPT like it will replace us or it will be the only source of the answer. It only means it's a Kickstarter. It's kind of a jumpstart your car in order to have that electrical juice a result of this process, right? So let's move in here, and then a couple more examples because time is short. But another area in here that I'd like to just introduce with you is the concept of where is the expert, right? The problem is that sometimes we don't have the expert, and the problem is that the trainer is not available. So we now have the idea where we have conversation and the coaching problem. So the question really, how does ChatGPT help the learners and therefore do the answers and self-reflection? How do we help them self-reflection? So I'm going to show you another example in here, and I'd like you to think on how ChatGPT helps reflection, helps self-coaching, okay? So I'm going to play this one, few seconds in here. It's self-coaching or self-reflection. Just have a premise. When you develop a coaching process, you have to have a model. So for example, you may have the technology to assist the coaching. It might be a human being to another human being coaching, or it might be a human being assisted with ChatGPT coaching. So that's a possibility we want to see. So the framework starts with that you have a problem, like for example, you're facing an issue with one of your team members, John, and then you think through questions in your mind, like for example, you'd say, what is impacting John? Work, personal, self-outlook, drivers and values, financial, or health and well-being. So this is the questions in your mind that you're trying to address. And then, of course, from that inside conversation with John, you probably want to be able to figure out what's an idea, what's an insight, what can I apply from this conversation, and how I can help John. And then finally, you might want to go check yourself with some progress, right? You might want to say, did I get John's trust? Did John open up? Was there a schedule? So all of this is what you call a framework. You need to have a framework, and there's a very basic framework in here. So now looking at ChatGPT, the role of ChatGPT is purely reflection, purely to trigger our mind, to be able to deepen our understanding of the different issues. So remember, we have John in here. It's important to really understand the problem of John. He's a good performer, but now suddenly he's done some problems. He seems to be slow in terms of communicating, responding, and doesn't take the necessary steps. So you need to intervene because you're concerned of John, and you need to ask some of these questions in here. What is his role in solving the problem? There are 5 different questions here. Who are affected affected by the problems, who can be solve the problem. So that's part of the framework. So the first thing we want to do is, even before or after you talk to John or communicate by phone, whatever means, is you want to have a framework. You want to be able to understand the different components in his life so that you can help them. And you wanted to ask ChatGPT's help in this area. So I'm going to click here, ChatGPT. We already have a pre-program in here, part of the questions, prompt questions. What are the different views of the problem, different from stakeholders or different people? Let's put it stakeholders. The question is actually responding to the issue that we raised about the issue with John. So we already know the objective of this coaching conversation with John. And there are other questions in here that you can add more in order to prompt yourself, and you can export for the conversation. So let's go send this out to ChatGPT and see what we get. So now ChatGPT, after a minute, provides us some insight and what are the different views of the problem, which is wanted to get a frames view. First, important to case to have comfortable and environment to join up, okay, to open up. Now it goes down to the right-hand side. Clear understanding of the problems got to be accomplished with John, and identify different stakeholders, situations, views of the problem, help better understand the problem. So while we are doing this process, therefore, how are we helping? How is ChatGPT helping the self-reflection of the learner, right? How is ChatGPT helping the learners to self-reflect? Or if you're a coach, how is ChatGPT helping out in self-insight, in coaching, in working with people? Can you answer that in the chat? Where and how did we use ChatGPT here to come up with a view of the problem, right? So, unbiased, thank you, Uday. Provides an organized framework to work on. I love that, Charity. It gives you an approach, a kind of a methodology, right? Okay. More perspectives. Very good. Thank you. More perspectives. Personalized guidance and support. So now you have a guidance in your questions, a point of view, simulations. It tries structure. Okay. Wonderful questions. Keep it coming. Type the answers in here. To view different point of view. Yes, you have developed that, the perspectives in that area, right? Just show a way to approach a problem, another way to approach a problem, to give you an idea what works best for certain kind of situation. So you notice it here that through ChatGPT, we can do a pretty good amount of reflection in the process. Depends on your objective, just to be clear, in doing that guided coaching and in calculating the best practices. So that is the purpose of ChatGPT. You set it up in an environment that you can do the process, right? Confidence building. I love that. Confidence building, because it gives you a better idea. Now I'm going to give you another example in here, which is like rapid course development. Now, how many of you have tried ChatGPT in developing short courses, right? Can you give a yes if you have? If you have developed tiny courses with ChatGPT, okay? What was your impression when you've done that? If you typed small ChatGPT, what was your impression, okay? A hyper-focus training, okay, good. So what is your impression? It can be really helpful, communicating training, very, very good. So let's go jump into that other example that I have, okay, and then we can have another conversation on the questions in this area. Okay, security policy, of course. So let me start this, few seconds in here. So I'm just gonna start and play this here. ChatGPT and AI able to impact the work of an instructional designer in developing a small little course. So if I create a situation, I'd go into research, I would be presented the opportunity to create a lesson, or we call it create a situation. I shall call this temporarily as latitude, more latitude number 2. And I will put up in here my tags, which is in the area of latitude. And then I will save that. And I will ask ChatGPT in here a question to help me create a small lesson, which is like create a course with 5 small lessons on how to provide workers more latitude to make decisions. So I will save that, and now I will begin to research in this area. When I go jump in to ChatGPT in here because I want to continue my research, begin to see that I can jump in and ask following questions, and you'll immediately recognize that ChatGPT already answered our questions preliminarily. So now I'm going to go in and say I have prompt questions in here that we have prepared in the system. I want to develop a small lesson, explain the details. So I'm going to pick one of these, like for example, designing expectations in here so that we have that. And then I can go into the prompt question and I will ask them explain the details of finding, establishing clear expectations. Remember, I got that from a prompt questions in here. I want the details. So let's go in and put in the details. We're now sending this to ChatGPT in the background type in terms of integration. So we're going to send in and see that ChatGPT is dynamically providing us answers. Then I may want to ask ChatGPT to continue by simply saying, I want to go deeper into this topic. We asked the details, which was presented above. I want to go in and simply say, provide problems and solutions related to, and I'm going to pick the topic that I have selected earlier to drill down, defining and establishing clear expectations. So I will research that with ChatGPT. Now it is answering there. Give us a few seconds. So you could see it automatically answers the prompt questions. Okay, so I shared a few ideas in here, and the question I'm going to ask you is primarily these questions in here. How does ChatGPT impact the roles of trainers, designers, and writers, facilitators, and technologists when you have create lessons quickly, do the problem solving, and discover the areas of rapid course development? Type the answer in the chat, please. Thank you. Empowers and reduce SMEs, dependency. Allows quicker, okay. Okay, good, very good. Kishab, thank you for the question. Self-service, empowers ID. Faster research, build up learner motivation. Great. Makes it easier for transfers. Nice. Fits in the workflow. Good. Cuts time on development time. Very good. Valuable tool for content creation and bias content. Okay, very, very good. So there is this capability that we're doing with ChatGPT, and we summarize it by simply saying, and some of you asked the question, is there any other topic than ChatGPT? The answer to your question is that this is all about instructional design. ChatGPT is only coincidental here, but ChatGPT completely changes the way we approach learning design. Traditionally, we focus on instruction. Today, with ChatGPT and AI, it completely thinks and refocuses our mind in terms of getting apply and results in this area. So these examples highlights the fact that in instructional design, this is 0 to 99% proficiency was very difficult to accomplish, right? Today, you can accomplish that with the help of ChatGPT. Most of our instructional designs are memorizations. They don't help with problem solving. Now with ChatGPT, you can do problem solving. Coaching is limited unless your mentor and coach shows up, the subject matter person shows up, you cannot do it. But now you can help coaching in a 24/7 environment, right? And then, of course, the rapid course development. So the fundamental difference when you're looking at instructional design is that it has completely reshaped instructional design. Do you agree with me on that? Type a yes or type a no if you disagree. Instructional design is completely reshaped with AI, and we're talking about ChatGPT, right? Now, many of you would say no, but the whole idea is that premise is we're starting to look at instructional design in a new world. And that's why many of us are concerned whether we're going to keep our jobs or not. I asked the question one time, which says like, how do you manage AI impacts on our jobs? And the answer is learn how to use AI so you can take advantage of it and making it become part of yourself, right? Okay. So here is the good final question, which I'm almost done with you in right now in here, is what is the one idea that you learned or found, okay, most inspiring about learning and ChatGPT from our session today? Can you type it in the chat? What is the one idea that you found interesting and helpful today? And this will be my final question to you. Type it in the chat. What's the one idea? Okay. Great. Thank you, Nitesh. Creative learning. Okay. Objectives. Thank you. Ignition. I like that, Henry. Optimize the use and reduce the best cost. How to think about your professional future. Lower costs in developing learning experiences. Save time, transcending limitations. Okay, few seconds more, and then I'll turn this over to Raghu. Kickstart situations, handling situations, kickstart and expand multitasking. Yep, so experiment on ChatGPT and experiment on the learning system that you have. I would like to leave you this word. In the same way that instructional design has evolved itself, it is our goal to help people learn. And it will always be the instructional design goal to help people learn in the best, fastest, efficient way. And therefore, the challenge in front of us to looking for the future of instructional design is what are these tools meaning to us? The chairman of Google says something just the other day that from a learning point of view, we are entering into the renaissance of learning, meaning to say we have a new capability for learning. Thank you so much, and I'll turn you over to Raghu and then have a conversation. Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you today.
Thank you, Ray, for this wonderful session. It was very interactive. So much of knowledge here. All right. So now we will have our gamification round, and then right after that we will have the Q&A. So stay tuned, and if you check your chat box, there will be a link for our gamification. Just give me a moment. All right, we have started the registration process. So it will take, I will allow 1 minute for every one of you to register. Okay, I have dropped in the registration link in the chat box, as well as you can see it on my screen. So this game is developed by one of our training partner, that is Nova Vista, and they have given this game for us to play for this gamification for this instructional designer bootcamp especially. So thank you, Nova Vista, for giving us this beautiful game. And yes, we have started getting registration. So the link is here. All right, we have started getting registrations here. Okay, I am starting the quiz. You would be given 1 minute and 30 seconds for it. All right. Here we go. All right. I can see people playing. All right. Okay, so I can see every one of you playing. We have Dipti with 80 points. She is leading. Neha. All right. All right. Another 10 seconds and I will end the quiz. So you can see our leaderboard here, and you will also get the analysis of this in your screen. So you can check that as well. All right. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, I'm just kidding. We have another 2 minutes. You can take your time. All right, I can see it. I would be stopping the quiz exactly in 1 minute now. All right, guys, you can do it. Okay, so we have time constraint here. So even if there is a slight difference between a second or millisecond, then that will also not be counted. There will be no tie here. There will be a perfect one winner. All right. I can see Rajat. I can see Neha. I can see Katie. All right. Okay, so the real countdown comes now. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm stopping the quiz. All right, we have the winner here. We have Roger, we have Isabel, and we have Joshua. All right, and you can see the time you have taken to finish the quiz here. That's Joshua, Reynard, Akansha, Rajat with 118, Reynard with 108, Akansha with 102. All right, so we have the winner, that's Rajat and Isabel. And I am stopping my screen share here. So Rajat and Isabel, I would request you to please switch on your video so that we all can see you, and you can, say something about the gamification, and a big applause for you both.
Hi, hello, good evening. Good evening from the Philippines.
Hello, Isabel.
It's my time to-
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I did not know what I won. But
Okay.
yeah, the game is very entertaining, at the same time informative. I'm just not sure though what is the YS instructional design not fluid. I think that is the only mistake that I got for all the other questions. But yeah, it's very entertaining and engaging as well. So thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. Also,
Hello. Hello, Rubo.
hello, Rajat. Hi.
How are you?
Congratulations on winning the voucher. So
Thank you.
please go
thank you.
ahead.
Thank you so much. I really like the framework, and I really enjoyed the unique way of creating the session in gamified way. That I really like that so much. Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Joshua, are you there? You would be the third winner. Hi, Joshua.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So would you like to say something about our gamification? How you like it? How?
I did enjoy it. I would say that my only observation of an opportunity would be some guardrails in place to prompt the actions of the
Okay.
game. But I did enjoy actually integrating that into the lesson.
All right. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, a great applause for our three winners here. That's Roger, Isabel, and Joshua. All right. So now we will move on to our Q&A session. Just a moment. Yes. So you can type in your responses. Okay, you can type your questions in the chat box. Waiting. Ray, are you there? All right, looks like Ray had already left for the meeting. So I would request each and every one of you to drop down your questions in our LinkedIn comments so that we can answer each and every one of your questions. All right. Okay. All right, we are getting your questions here. Each and every of the questions are being noted here. So all your questions and queries will be answered. All right. All right. So we have the link in the chat box. You can also drop in your questions there. All right. Okay, so it's almost time, and I would request each and every one of you to, turn on your camera so that I can, take a photo of every one of us. It will be really nice. Hi, Jerome. We can see you. Okay, we're coming in. All right. We have more people. All right. At the moment, almost done. All right. Thank you everyone for joining this bootcamp and making it a very interactive. We did have a wonderful session. Thank you, Ray, even though you are not here. Thank you, Ray. And once again, thank you all for joining us. Till then, I will see you next time. And thank you all again. Bye-bye. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Next time. See you.
See you all next time.
Bye. Sorry for coming late.
No problem.